Well, today I'm going to be mounting the diesel can. Now, earlier this week I decided to work on this thing after work, and most of you know I'm a carpenter by trade, and I've done it most of my life. And one of the rules of thumb is measure twice, cut once. Well, I need to take that advice. I went and installed this, and again, it's just tacked, so it's going to be easy to come out. Well, then I went to install a welder, just tacked it in. I measured it, had it all set up. And then I went to install it, which is exactly where I want it, but that screw right there, as you can see, the one that's still in, is sitting about right here. So I've got to grind this piece out right here, extend this over. I'm not going to extend it all the way over, just enough to catch that other screw, and re-weld another piece in there and mount that up. So I'm going to grind this out, put a new piece in, and we'll see if it fits a little bit better later on. One of the things I want to talk about today is just the actual process of building this thing, and some of the things I might change or do differently if I were to do it again. And I'll probably do a couple of these as we go through this, because there's probably some of this right here that I've already done that I'm going to look back and think, wow, I wish I didn't do that. But one of the things I would definitely change on this is I would not use a boat trailer. For this project. Not saying that it wouldn't have worked better for a different project, but if I was just doing a regular teardrop, you know, and reusing the axles that were on the trailer, it would probably have been just fine. But my project kept evolving, getting bigger, getting a little bit heavier, and so the axles aren't being reused. Honestly, the only thing that's going to be original to the boat trailer is the actual frame. And I'm not upset about that, because the actual frame is very heavy. It's very heavy duty. The C channel is bigger than 1/4 inch. It's really heavy. So I'm good with it, but if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably just I'd build the frame too, the whole thing, start to finish, instead of trying to work, because there was a lot of prep work, and I'll show you probably when I do the editing, the beginning footage of what the trailer looked like at the beginning, and there was a lot of grinding the old stuff off, grinding the cross members off. Now I'm gonna be replacing the axles anyway, so there's really only the frame left. So that's probably what I would change, number one. One of the other things is just maybe having a little bit better plan of what you want your outcome to be. Because when I started this, I'm like, I just want a camper, you know, I just want an overland camper. But there's a lot more to it to that. And I drew up my plan. I know what I want it to look like in the end, and honestly, I'm almost spot on what I wanted in the end and what I originally drew up. But I would make a better plan on, you know, just the bed, the plumbing, which I got a good idea what I'm going to do now, but I just probably should have, at the very beginning of this project, just kind of drew it out a little bit better, and you know, the wiring and stuff like that. But I'm sure I'm going to regret a couple things as we go along here, but I'm just going to keep plugging away. So I'll check back a little later. Some people wonder why I keep the other axles on here so long. Why didn't I put the new axles on there already? Reason being is, if I put the new axles on, I can't get it in and out of my garage. That's the main reason why I've kept these axles on here so long, in these tires. I did actually purchase. My tow vehicle is going to be a Nissan Xterra, so I did go purchase a spare tire to a Nissan Xterra, so I knew the exact size, because that's what I wanted to match. I want to match the size and bolt pattern for the Xterra. That way, I'll technically only have to have, you know, one spare tire, which I'll have one on the Xterra. I think I am going to put a spare tire either on the back or maybe up front here. I haven't quite decided. Maybe even up top. I still haven't decided on the actual spare tire placement. But just to make it look cool, I'll probably put one on here. So it is January 2nd today, January 2nd. I worked on it a little bit yesterday. I got that tank set and I got that bracket re-welded just a little bit yesterday, being the first, and just chilled out a little bit yesterday. So today what I'm going to work on, this divider wall. Again, like I talked about yesterday, planning it out in the beginning might be a little bit better. Not that I've run into any issues, but I'm still flip-flopping on how I want this to look. I'm going to set the toilet, not set it, but I'm going to put it in exactly where it's going to go. I will, over this toilet, there'll be a bench seat kind of deal that sits right over the toilet. So when it comes up, it's going to fold up and be right against this wall. And when it comes down, it's going to sit right over top of the toilet. So normal everyday use, you won't even see the toilet. I thought about that, maybe having, you know, this is going to be a little shelving area. And this will have another little cabinet right here, about halfway across. The other side is going to be all my electrical. But this will hold toilet paper and all that kind of stuff. And this, I think I'm going to have it hold a coffee pot and stuff like that, so we can just pull it out, set it on this little table that's over the toilet when it's not in use, so we can have coffee in the morning. So that's kind of the game plan. So I'm still working on how I'm going to make that work and function. But I think I got the idea in my head, so that's half the battle. So that's what I'm going to be working on today, is kind of designing this wall. By the end of the day, I'll know whether or not I decided to put a door in it, because I would still like to have access to that front while we're in here. But then I'm also thinking, why do I need access to that front? I probably don't really, because mainly all you're doing in there is sleeping. So I don't think I really need access to it, besides the fact that I might want access to it. So I'll decide that as we go. Another thing I'll be working on is the doors today. One of the things you got to realize when you go to build one of these is doors are very expensive. So to purchase the 2 doors that I wanted, it would have been about $800. And probably when I'm done with them, I'll have maybe a couple $100 in them. I don't know, you know, with the sheeting and everything and the framing and the hinges. Hinges are expensive too. So by the time I'm done with it, I'm hoping I saved a little bit of money, but I don't know. Another thing, when you're putting these doors in, I welded them up and I put the hinges on them. And these, you can see I have the magnets just sitting here. If you were to do this out, you know, say I wanted to build the frame of it off site and take it out to my other shop and build them out there. The one thing you run into is you're assuming that everything is square, plumb, straight, and all that. So that's why when I do it, the frame, I just weld it in here and I weld the frame in, because I want to get my reveals and my gaps all right. And so that way I know it's just right, it's where I want it to be. And then I can grind these off and fill it in and make it sheeted and all that stuff. So that's why I do it this way. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that's why I do it. And same thing with back here. When you get this big of a door, it's easy to get a twist in that door. So what that would mean is that, and you can see the frame of this door, is that this would stick out a little bit, that would stick in a little bit, or whatever if you don't get it just right. So that's why I do it that way. Not saying it's right or wrong, but that's how I do it. And it seems to be working. So I do got to build the other door for the other side. I'll probably get that done today. I did order the shocks and things like that for it, for the struts to raise that bed up. Axles will be ordered this week. So I'll keep you up to date as we go along today. Again, thanks for watching. Oh, hey. Sorry about that. Just doing a little thinking. Well, a pretty productive day today. I got a lot done today. A couple of things I've again maybe changed a little or just not known what I was going to do at the beginning. But I did put a little handle here, or what that's going to end up being is a place for the shelf that comes down to sit. So there'll be a shelf right here, come down and sit on that. And there'll be, once I frame this all in or finish it, there'll be a piece go across here and it'll just sit right on there. I did decide at this point I'm going to keep it totally separate, front, back, totally separate. I kind of like that look. It gives it a nice clean look. I can start seeing my shelves and things like that. So I really like that. I really like how it's coming out. I really like how this came out. The toilet's going to set just perfect. Kind of like how that's coming out too. I did get the other door framed up. And I also got the back, if you can see back here, I got those blue. So, and it's all square and straight. I think it's looking pretty good. Pretty excited with the way everything's coming out at this point. Now I can really see what I got to work with. I can really see what I got going. A couple other things I've been thinking about. One is how I want to work the back end and how I want to incorporate either a bike rack or something like that on the back end, which I'll show you that down the road. But I did purchase at Harbor Freight, which are real cheap, hitch and a receiver hitch. This will not only in the back eventually, ouch, that hurt, eventually hold my jacks, so my stabilizer jacks, but also I'll be able to pull my stabilizer jacks out and insert some sort of bike rack or something like that. Which that's down the road. I picked up the stuff for it today. What else did I got going today? I did also decide on these smaller doors, I was going to put a cross member in. I think what I'm going to do at this point is just put some angle corners in. That way I'll keep it a little bit lighter, not so much metal. I think that's what I'm going to do. So, but that's all I got for today or this week. I'll check back with you next week. I'm going to be working on the roof. I got to do a couple things up top, but really the structure of it is just about done. The structure of it's almost complete. Again, I got to re-weld everything, paint everything. But the structure of it's almost where I want it to be. I got to put, again, all the nailers in, things like that, as you'd call them in construction, but just place for that, all the aluminum, make sure it's got backing everywhere and all the corners and everything. So I have to go through and do all that. In the construction world, this would just be the beginning of this project. So just like if you're framing a house or something like that, the framing of it's the very beginning stage. You do the foundation and then you do the framing. And there's a ton of stuff to go in after that. All the wiring, all the plumbing. So we're still, I mean, I wouldn't even consider myself at the halfway point of this project. Probably more at the 15-20% done with the project. I got a lot of the stuff bought for it, so I'm in pretty good shape there. I'll have to buy all the skirting and all the sheeting still, but other than that, I think we're in pretty good shape. So if you have any questions, again, holler at me, leave something in the comments. If you got any questions, one thing that I want to do different than a lot of them is I'm not going to show a lot of slow down footage of me running around welding and grinding and all that stuff. What I want to show is actually what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how maybe. If you got any questions on how we're doing something, or I'm doing something, just let me know, and I'll try to explain that specific thing a little bit better. But at this point, we're just going to keep plugging away. And if you got any questions for me, for sure, just put it in the comments or something like that, and I'll get back with you. So again, thanks for watching. And my brother just walked in. So hey, Ryan, come over here and say hi now. You already interrupted.
Yeah, sorry guys. Hey.
All right. So I'm going to get off here, and we'll check in a little bit later.